Hey, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about online applications. So when you fill out an online mortgage application, something really, really important for you guys to know, especially if you're working with us. I've got Alyssa with me today. Alyssa is on the team. She's usually who you talk to on the front end. If you've got questions, if you're like, well, I don't know if I'm ready, or help, I need help with budgeting, Alyssa is there to help. So Alyssa, what do you see on your side in terms of like what makes someone stop filling out an application?
Yeah, so I like to go through, all the applications we get, and a lot of the incomplete applications when I'm calling and following up are people don't have the exact data to put in. Like, I don't remember the exact penny I made last year. I don't know how long.
I can't even imagine.
I don't know how long I lived in a house to the month. And the application will, ask that. Like, how many years, how many months? And so people just freeze and stop and try to go collect the data to put it in correctly.
Or
exactly.
it just spooks them. Or they just go, oh my God, or it's just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's that I'm never going to be able to do this. Like, oh, I don't know those numbers. I'm so stupid. What's wrong with me? Like, there's like this self-hate spiral.
Our application is actually super user-friendly.
It's super user-friendly, but as long as you realize that, like, if you're working with a team like us where we fully underwrite every file, what you put in doesn't matter.
It's not set in stone.
No.
Initially.
No. So sometimes people are like, because I'll hear, well, I don't know if I should put in 200,000 or 300,000. I want between 2 and 3. And I'll be like, just put in the highest amount. Right? Because we can always bring them down.
Yeah.
So what do you tell people when they're telling you, like, hey, I didn't know my exact Social Security amount?
Yeah, I say, fill it out to the best of your ability. Right when we receive it, it gets assigned to either Samantha or Jen. They review it once we have all the income documents uploaded, and then they'll call you and go over everything again. If you need to change anything, they can change it. It's so easy on our end. It's not a big deal at all.
Well, and the big thing to know too is because sometimes people are like, well, all lenders are like that. No. So if you guys are working with like a big box lender where they're giving you an instant pre-approval, well, in that case, you better have your data perfect and you better get out guidelines. Because the one thing I have to say as someone who looks at these files and structures them is that income, what you guys put as your income can be very different than what we put in ultimately.
Student loan payments.
Oh yeah, like we have to analyze your income. So, if you're hourly, we're looking at 2 years histories. If you're less than 40 hours, there's all these different variables. And then as Lisa pointed out, the student loans, it depends on the investor, what type of loan we're doing, how they're calculated.
Or like commissions, like people just don't.
Yeah, I mean, and how would you guys know that?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because there's so many companies right now marketing, we'll give you an instant pre-approval, but it's only really as good as the data you put in, and so much of that is based on having to know guidelines.
Another thing is, people, again, they get nervy when they're filling it out because it is, it's a big step, and they feel like they need to know everything.
Right.
And what I tell people, I ask them what they do. Oh, I'm a nurse. Oh, I'm a truck driver. I don't know how to be a nurse. I don't know how to drive a semi-truck. Like, we don't expect you to know everything, just
about being a lender.
Yeah, exactly. Or the guidelines and all this stuff. So again, just fill it out like a questionnaire. We are going to review it with a fine-tooth comb and go over everything. So well, and we changed so much of it to begin with. I mean, that's the thing. Like, the biggest benefit, because the online app for us came out about 7 years ago, and I was really against it at first. I was like, really?
I was. I know now that, like,
were you like getting them faxed in or something? Or?
No, I was doing them all over the phone.
Oh my gosh.
I know. But here's the funniest part. So when people do online applications, they're more accurate. In terms of name spelling, right? Because sometimes, like, I am bad with accents. Like, I don't know what happened to me as a child. I think, I'm not kidding. I actually had 2 teachers with really thick accents that were not nice to me. I think that's it. Anyways, I can't understand every accent, so I might get a digit wrong. Whereas if you have the online application, we're going to get that stuff right. And that's really what I think it's for. Like, we want the overview, the granular, we're going to dig into. So I think if you guys are thinking of filling out online applications with lenders, if you're working with us, we're going to fully underwrite everything. Just do it to the best of your ability. Get it over to us so we can start working.
Another point, sorry to interrupt, but
no, please.
If you stop after you start it, within 24 hours, you get locked out and have to start all over again. And that's a big thing. That's why when I see an incomplete app come through, I try to call within that window to say, hey, if you have any questions, I'll answer them right now. Or if you were just nervous or, anything, instead of having to redo it all, finish it, because, for security reasons, obviously, you're going to get locked out after 24 hours.
Yeah, and the reason you get locked out is because there's so much compliance with mortgages that we can't have like an open application for 7 days. It was something when the first digital application came out, we're like, everyone's getting locked out. So the key is when you guys, like I used to always tell people, like, get a glass of water. If you're a wine drinker, get a glass of wine, sit down, commit to 15 minutes of just filling it out to the best of your ability. You don't need your tax returns and a stack of pay stubs. Like, should you know roughly like what you make an hour? Yeah, like roughly, that would be helpful. But at the same point, we're gonna tear it apart anyways. So overall, when you're filling out an online application, do it to the best of your ability. However,
it is not set in stone. It's super easy for us to modify because we go over everything.
But if you're not working with us and you're working with some lender that's offering you an instant pre-approval in 2 minutes, best of luck. I hope you put it in right, and I hope you know guidelines, because if you don't, they're gonna come back to you when you're like, wait, why don't I qualify? I'm confused. They'll say, you put your data in wrong. And that's nothing you want to deal with. So I'm licensed in 48 states. Give us a call, get on the calendar. Any questions or comments, please leave them below. Have you guys filled out an online app? And like, what are your thoughts? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it easy? Is it hard? And are you one of those people who was given an instant pre-approval by another lender and then found out the hard way that it wasn't real? So as always, thanks